We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
You are listening to The Underground Marketing Conspiracy, a secret ritual where entrepreneurs acquire highly classified and confidential business knowledge that the top 1% of income earners don't want you to know. And now, your host, Maddie Milligan.
What is going on, my fellow conspirator and conspirators? Welcome to the Underground Marketing Conspiracy. Ooh. I want to talk to you about the first step you need to take in your business, which is choosing your client avatar. This is super important. I'm not going to lie. I overlook this in my own business all the time. I just work with all sorts of random people. They come to me with all sorts of different businesses, coaches, consultants, people who have local businesses, real estate agents. A lot of e-commerce people come to me as well, infopreneurs with their courses or their books, or maybe they're speakers, or they have a live event coming up, whatever it is. I've worked with and built funnels at this point for pretty much anyone. And I've realized that I really need to choose a specific niche and call out that person. And this is one of the most important things. I remember when I took the Agora Financial Copy School, and they go so deep into their avatar. They even name this dude Grandpa Kurt. And let me tell you a little bit about Grandpa Kurt right now. He's 71 years old. He's a conservative. He's voted for Trump, so he's definitely Republican. He's libertarian, so he believes in not having much government. He has 3 grandkids. He drives not the greatest car, to be honest. So Grandpa Kurt needs to get a new car. And he's been burned by Wall Street investments. And he sees himself as the leader. He sees himself as the patriarchal figure that needs to take care of his family and support everyone. And even though he's still 71 years old, he's still working either part-time or full-time. And even then, Agora Financial, they go so deep as to giving this little figurine to everyone. And so that when they sit down to write copy, they're like, okay, would Grandpa Kurt like this sales message? Would he like this headline? Would he like this big idea? And they go so deep into that. So this is something where I've really been mapping out. And I've been working on this business on the side with my couple of partners while doing my service-based stuff, which I'm also going to continue to grow. So bad idea to run 2 businesses, by the way. Just choose one business and run that at the same time. But I figured these guys, I'm giving them a bunch of stuff so they can do that. And in the meantime, I can really just focus on growing my service-based business. But I think for me, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on my helping people with e-commerce funnels and really just any sort of physical products, and that might be information as well as physical products at the same time, because I've talked with a lot of people recently who have books that they want to promote. So that's really going to be the main, those will be the main people. Like anyone, I even work with a couple of people who have local businesses as well, and those will probably be some people I work with. But for now, that's really the main thing. But I need to get clear on the person that I'm serving. And there's the demographics, right? I talked about this before. It's like, are they a man or a woman? How old are they? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? How much do they earn? What kind of job do they have? What kind of car do they drive? What do they eat? What's their physical health like? What do they cook? What stores do they shop at? What kind of magazines and books and information products do they read and consume? What kind of products do they use on a day-to-day basis? What TV shows do they watch? Do they own a home? What kind of interests do they have? What's their education level? That's really understanding the demographics of who they are. But then there's the psychographics, right? That's the biggest, that's really what's happening inside their head and what's happening, what kind of problems they're having. And I'll go a little bit deeper right now. So this is something where you need to really think about what's the results you can get for this person, right? And you have to describe, maybe there's a perfect client you yourself have worked with before, right? If you run a service-based business. So think of that perfect client. Or if you run a physical-based product business, then focus on that one person who just buys everything you have. Maybe even sit down with them and then figure out all the things that I'm about to talk about right now, right? What's the biggest problem that they have? Is it like an emotional thing? Are they in pain? Is it a financial thing? What frustrates them the most? What kind of things and steps do they need to take to get from pain to out of pain? What keeps them awake at night? What are they anxious about? What are they afraid of? What do they worry about? What are they stressed about? What humiliates them? What's the cost of staying where they are right now? And could it get even worse if they don't fix it? What's like their most pressing thing, an urgent crisis that they need to solve right now and they need it fixed immediately? What are the things that frustrate that person on a daily basis, day in, day out? Is it people? Is it coworkers? Is it employees? Is it the circumstances? Is it the government? Is it day-to-day chores that they don't like doing? What do they want more than anything else? Right? What are the steps, again, they need to take to get out of that? What's the biggest mistake that they're making right now related to the problem that you could solve for them? Right? It could be other things too, right? What are they complaining about with their friends and their family, right? They don't have enough money, they don't know how to do something, they don't have enough time, etc. So once you understand these things, you can communicate to that person so much better. And I was even talking about someone with this yesterday in a consultation call, in a strategy session, was that with your avatar, you need to really, once you find someone and they're buying your stuff, like paying to have a consultation with them and being like, hey, I'll pay you $100 if you sit down for an hour with me on Zoom or something, and really just asking the questions and going in depth and understanding them, like asking them all of this stuff. And once you have that, you can communicate so easily with them, right? Like it makes your copy so much easier. It makes your targeting a lot easier as well when you do pivot into paid advertising. But it just allows you to call that person out and be like, hey, do you have this problem? Yeah, it's a really bad problem. How isn't it bad? And they're like, wow. Robert Collier, in his book, I think it's called the Robert Collier sales letter or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. The Robert Collier letter. He talks about joining that conversation that's already happening in people's head. So when you do this, it's like you're reading their mind. And when they see that, they're like, okay, this company really gets me. Like they get me in depth. One of the biggest lessons I ever learned too was from Tony Hsieh from Zappos.com. And what he would do is he would still take phone calls, even though he was the CEO, even though Zappos was doing millions of dollars before he sold it to Amazon. He would still get on the calls with his customers to really pick their brain and understand what their frustrations are and what their burning pain points were, right? And you need to do that too as a business owner, right? I think it was Trey Llewellyn who talked about this once, where once he was watching someone in Moutsflow and the screen just went blank and he's like, what happened? And he called them back. Like he called this lady back and he's like, hey, is this like Joanne? And she's like, yeah, who's this? And he's like, oh, it's Trey Llewellyn from like National Gun Owners Association. She's like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I noticed you were on our site and you just left. Like, did something happen? She's like, oh yeah, the deal was so good. I wanted to talk to my friends about this and see if she wanted to buy it as well. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. So then he made all of his follow-up emails be like, hey, did you think this deal was so good that you wanted to talk to your friends about it? Well, guess what? We saved your cart for you and your friend. And he's like, once I added that one thing, like the conversion rates on those emails, the follow-up was just absolutely perfect. And it's really important too, I think, if you sell subscription services specifically. When you have a subscription in a continuity program, as soon as someone buys, call them. Be like, hey, congratulations, you're in our subscription. This is your onboarding call. So we're going to help you get everything set up, make sure you're good to go. And they're going to be like, okay, awesome. And then because you did that one thing, not only can you understand them better, you can figure out what other products that they have and whatever problems they have. And man, the likelihood of them churning and opting out of your subscription is so low because you had that one call, right? But you really need to get clear, though, on who that one person is you solve. Russell Brunson talks about this a lot in .com Secrets. There's the who and the what. So it's like, what are you going to sell? But more importantly, who are you going to sell it to? And once you really figure out who your dream clients are, the kind of people you want to serve, that's super important. And I've been mapping this out right now. Like I've been writing down like all the different things. Like I've been mapping out for my service-based business, my female avatar. Luckily, I have this woman who, I don't know, I randomly went through like these business groups one day and saw her, and I'm like, and I went through to her profile and saw everything, and I'm like, all right, she's my perfect, like she's the female avatar, like she's someone I'd like to work with. Like already owns a business, like single mom, works really hard, likes to treat herself at the same time, very positive attitude, very like, non-judgmental, has a sense of humor, like can laugh at herself kind of thing. And then, all the pain points are different. Like there's all sorts of different things, like just growing the business, etc. And then my male one, that's the one where I'm still really trying to figure that out. I've met with some people recently where I'm like, all right, I think I'm just going to like not stalk, but really just look at this person's profiles and understand who they are and just start going in depth. Same thing with I'm doing with my friends, right? When we go into our avatar, we're going to figure out who it is, even have a name to that person. And then when I sit down to write my copy and build my funnels and do whatever it is, it's like, all right, now I know exactly who we're serving. I've been doing this for a couple of other clients right now as well. So yeah, just very, very important that you do this. So again, figure out who you want to serve and map out the avatar. I gave you all the instructions. This is super helpful. I think this is probably the most important first step in actually building out your funnels, building out your sales letters, and building out your marketing campaigns in general. Hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Underground Marketing Conspiracy. If you did, I want you to consider subscribing, consider listening to some additional episodes, maybe consider leaving a review on iTunes or on Spotify or on my Facebook business page, which is at Matty Milligan Official. My name is Matty Milligan. You can find out more about me by visiting mattymilligan.com, or you can join my free entrepreneurs Facebook group at overdogs.group. And I will see you guys next time on another episode of The Underground Marketing Conspiracy. Woo!